Hello everybody and welcome back to Costume Quest 2. We just started things off in the last video. It got really crazy really quick, and we're basically trying to time travel back in time so that we can save Halloween. That's the gist of it. There's still a few things that we have to sort of cover that we didn't go over in the first video, of course. And starting off, we're just going to kind of go over a little bit more of the combat. Witches. Did we find the witches? No, false alarm. These are standard human children. They do not have the talisman we seek. You're looking for the witches too, huh? Well, that's too bad for you. Why do you say this, human child? If you're looking for the witches, then that means you're in our way. Ha! Do you think you can deter us? We are shards of the Chronunculus. We are everywhere. We cannot be stopped. Alright, so here is our first battle using both Reynold and Ren, and it's nice in this game because we actually get to use both of them. We don't just have to choose between one and the other one gets kidnapped. So we only have two costumes for now, the superhero costume and the candy corn costume. A few things I want to point out here, one of which is if you look at Reynold's health bar, on the right hand side you will see two icons. There's like a explosion type of icon with a green outline, and then next to that is sort of a wrench icon with a red outline. That basically means that Reynold has certain strengths and abilities while wearing the superhero costume. If we look at the crony combatants, they have a little tooth icon next to their name. These are all, I guess, elements you could call them. Each enemy has a certain element or a certain type that they are, and depending on your costume, you're either going to be weak against these enemies, you're going to do really well against these enemies, or you're going to be kind of somewhere in the middle. So this is an added thing that they've put into this game that was not in the first costume quest, and it can play to your advantage or to your disadvantage. It completely depends on the situation, completely depends on which costumes that you have. So in our case, Reynold is just gonna do regular damage. He's not excellent against these guys, but he's not weak against them either. Now, as you can see there, when it became Ren's turn, she did nothing. And that is because the candy corn costume never attacks. It is strictly for defense. And that is why it can be a little bit tedious to have the candy corn costume in your party at all times during battle for the achievement, because there's some instances where you really want to speed the battle up and you want to get it over and done with, but you have one character who isn't going to be doing any of the attacking, assuming that you keep the candy corn costume on your character at all times. If you are going for this achievement, I do recommend keeping it on your secondary character at all times. So in my case, if I was going to do this, I would keep it on Ren at all times, and if I was playing as Ren, then I would keep it on Reynold at all times. You want to make sure that basically you have candy corn in your party for every single battle. Some of the little dialogue pieces that come up when it's Candy Corn's turn are pretty funny though, so that's pretty amusing to read. And the other good thing about the Candy Corn costume is that the enemies always seem to kind of hone in on it. So because it is a defensible type of costume, it can take a lot of damage. It can take quite a beating, and it sort of takes away from the damage that your other attacking costumes will take, which is nice. So it's going to be a little bit slow going in the beginning here because we only have one character who can attack. But yeah, as you can see, they haven't even touched Reynold at all. They just home right in on Ren when she's wearing the Candy Corn costume. And we didn't get a scratch on us whatsoever. So, Reynold says that he's thirsty. I don't know why he says he's thirsty. He hasn't taken any damage. Ren took all the damage in this case. But basically what that means is that he's taken a little bit of damage and he would like his health restored. Now you can see that there's this little fountain here, and if you drink out of it, you can restore all of your health outside of battle, and you can also save your game. So that is another addition to this game that is really, really nice. It basically allows you to have a quick place to save in between battles, and you can also heal in between battles. So as I mentioned in the first video, you can get all of the achievements in this game in one playthrough. They're all fairly straightforward, fairly easy, and even the Candy Corn achievement is fairly easy. It's just a little bit drawn out at times because you want to finish battles more quickly and you can't because of the nature of the Candy Corn costume. For the LP, I will probably not do this just to speed things up, but we'll see how I feel. I may or may not do it, but I've already completed this game 100% on my own free time, so... Hey y'all, don't just stand there holding your pails, help me! Whoa, what are you doing with that gator? Some of my girls got loose and thought it would be funny to rip up my costume on Halloween. That looks dangerous, why don't you just let her have it? I worked all week on my costume. I'm not about to let these gators ruin my night. Look around and see if you can find the other pieces. I've got this one handled. And hurry up before Gertie gets bitey on my arms. I also apologize profusely because I'm sure that my accent is terrible. But I figured I would give that kid there, Monty, an accent. If you see these little candy corn pinatas, you'll want to hit them because they're full of candy. And you can see, of course, now that we have our candy pail back, and we also have our experience bar on the top left-hand side of the screen. So we're going to help Monty out here, and we're going to get pieces of his costume back for him. So we can come into this little gator enclosure here, hit this gator to get the rainbow wig. One of these gators, this one. I was going to say one of the gators in the water has the horn for us. And then this gator has the foam ball nose that we need. We found your costume pieces, I think. There's alligator drool on some of it. My clown costume! Halloween is saved! Your Halloween is saved, but Halloween in the future is doomed. What you mean? It's a long story, but we're here to save it. We just need to find a coven of witches guarding a talisman somewhere around here. You mean them bog witches? I can show you where they are. We just gotta rustle up a boat. Alright, so Monty has now joined the party. Which is nice. We now have another costume that can help us out. Another costume that can actually attack too, which is nice. Okay, Monty, get your gator out of the way. That's not one of mine. I ain't going near her. Well, how do you move a gator? You can try using my squeaky horn. They really hate the sound of this thing. Alright, so basically we're going to change our costume. We're going to let Reynold wear the clown costume, and which will automatically switch Monty into the superhero costume. Look at her go! Yeah. So the clown costume, if your main character is wearing it, comes equipped with a horn, which you can just hammer on by pressing the B button. It's very annoying to listen to. There is an achievement for honking your horn 1,000 times, and that can be done at any time. If you want to just get it over and done with, you can do it now. It should take you less than 5 minutes. We are going to be using the clown horn throughout this level, though, so you might want to hold off until a later time when we don't have as much usage for the clown costume. And then, as you can see here too in this menu, which I didn't mention, we can see a breakdown of all the costumes here. We can see the skill that they have. We can see kind of the stats of each of the costumes, as well as their strengths and their weaknesses, which will definitely play into your advantage or disadvantage depending on the situation. So for now, I prefer the superhero costume, but I'm going to keep Reynold in the clown costume just because we do have some uses for it. Looking for witches, huh? You're going to need a boat. Dang, you look cadaverous. I'm a skeleton kid, get over it. You got a boat? Sure do, and I'll take you right to them, for a price. Keep talking. I came here for candy, but those human grown-ups are stingy. They just scream and slam the door in my face. I need you to fill my pail up with candy and bring it back to me. Trick or treat at every house and bring me the mother load. Then we can talk about going to the bog to see those witches. You want us to trick or treat, huh? I think we can manage that. I mean a ton. So much candy that you're embarrassed to be seen with it. I'll wait for you at the dock in town. Alright, so yep, we're gonna do business as usual. If you hadn't seen the Let's Play of the first game, you've never seen the first costume quest, a big part of this game is trick-or-treating, of course. So we have a total of 18 houses that we have to knock on and do some trick-or-treating at. Doesn't really matter what order we do it in. I think I'm gonna start by going this way. And at each house, we're either going to get a grown-up who will give us candy, or we're gonna run into an enemy and we're gonna have to fight. So we had bad luck. Our first house is an enemy. So now it's a little bit more fair because it's a 2-on-2 fight. The clown costume is capable of attacking. Unfortunately, it is not strong against these crony combatant enemies, so the attacks are going to do less damage, and we're also going to take more damage from them. So these first couple of battles are kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie. It does take a little while to get acclimated to the battle system. And right now we are doing kind of low amounts of damage, you know, we're starting out. Some of these costumes are not strong against these enemies, so we have a few things kind of playing against us. It does get easier as time goes on, but these first few battles are going to go on for quite a while. Now, the clown's special ability is a healing spell, which might actually not be a bad idea to use, seeing as how Ren has been taking quite a beating. And there is an achievement in this game for using the special ability of every single costume. So it's a good idea to use all of them and to just kind of play around and see which costumes you like best. And what costumes, of course, are the most appropriate in each situation that you come across. Should be able to finish this off next turn. That's annoying. See, I did more damage. I did 24 points of damage, but because the clown is not strong against the crony combatants, it automatically did less damage, which actually saved it that 1 point of health. So we got some experience, some candy, and we also got a card as well, which is great. We're now at level 2, which may or may not help us do a little bit more damage in battle, maybe make the battles go by a little bit faster. Two fights in a row, my goodness. Oh, but there's only one. Oh, that's easy. Although it has 150 health, so it seems like it was a little bit stronger than the last enemies that we came across. So it is possible that these enemies sort of level up with us as we level up. And I'm not gonna read Candy Corn's lines out loud, but if you do have a chance to see them in the video, some of them are pretty funny. And then it's nice too because the game is saving after each battle. So you never have to worry about losing much progress in this game. Even if you were playing this in the middle of a lightning and thunderstorm and you were worried about your power going out, even if something were to happen, the chances of you actually losing some progress is pretty low. Which I think is fantastic. So at this third house here, we're just going to go around the back. And we're going to jump onto the roof. And we're going to pick up a pair of dino slippers, which is one of the materials needed for our next costume. And at this point, we can pretty much loop back around and do some more trick-or-treating. Out on the world map, when you see these enemies roaming around, you'll want to try and hit them in the back. Use the X button to swing your candy pail and hit them in the back to get a surprise sneak attack, which will allow you to do more damage at the beginning of the fight, and also allows you to start first. You get the first turn in. So I can do a few more houses worth of trick-or-treating here. Our pail is starting to fill up. We're almost at 500 pieces of candy, which is great. In this house, I do believe we can go around the back. And there is a piñata here, which will give us some more candy. Before we go back and trick-or-treat at this final house along this strip here. Which of course is a fight, because why wouldn't it be? And we can see that we actually have some new type of enemies here. We have tech type of enemies, the machinists, which I do believe the superhero costume is strong against. And the clown is going to do more damage against them just because he's not weak to them. And I was wrong, the superhero costume is actually weak against them. So this actually works not too badly in our favor because we can have the clown focused on the machinist type enemies, and then we can have the superhero costume focused on these ones, which will probably be a little bit more effective. And these enemies have the ability to poison us, which is pretty irritating. So I'll probably go ahead and just use the ability right now. Allow us to get rid of that poison and also to heal ourselves. There is a new aspect to fighting that I haven't introduced yet, but I'll probably do that in the next video. Okay. And again, these fights with 3 enemies is always going to be a little bit longer. Hopefully our superhero gets its ability soon and we can just kind of wipe out a few of the enemies using that. Or so I hope. Candy corn is good. I don't know, that's debatable. Some people seem to really like candy corn, and some people seem to not like it at all. It's kind of like those marshmallow peeps that you get around Easter time. Some people really like them, and some people really don't. Okay, so I'm actually gonna attack this one. Just so that we can lay out our special attack here and hopefully kill the one on the left. Or wipe out both of them, that's perfect too. Excellent. Alright, so we are definitely needing a drink after that last fight, and I think that there is a fountain right over here. So I'm gonna heal up, I'm gonna save my game, and this area here is actually where I want to trick-or-treat next. So we have done, I think, 6 out of the 18 houses so far, which is pretty good. And as we make our way around this area here, we should be able to hopefully get some more candy and trick-or-treat at some more houses and just get those out of the way. So thank you all so very much for watching. I'm going to stop it here and we will continue on in the next video. Hope you guys have enjoyed so far, and I hope that I will be seeing you next time.